on to something else.
Let's think positive.
Oh,
Let's think
you're
positive thoughts for a while. So, good morning, everybody. And I don't know if anybody was on the Axon huddle this morning. So they talked about the Axon leads, and the leads are actually they are not leads. They are handing over clients, really, is what it is. So they're getting the leads. They have their ISA people scrubbing these leads, calling these leads, getting these people to the point where they are ready. It isn't like, oh, they just get a name and they pass it to you guys and you have to do that. They are using their ISA and they are going to be way beyond that point. So these should be good, qualified people looking to buy and sell. And so, but when they hand them over, so this one guy asked this morning, which was interesting. I know what he meant, but what he said was, what happens if we don't follow up with the leads? Like, and so Chase said, well, then you're fired and you'll never get another lead. Basically, he said, because we're spending all the money on the leads and the ISA to scrub them and get them to that point to nurture them, so that when you get them, yes, we need closers. All you're really going to be doing is closing them. So the Axon leads should be decent leads. They're 25%, which is better than Op City. They're further in the process, which is better than what Op City is doing. So I would, sign up for them, but do not fool around with it. And they're going to be phone calls. They're going to be a live transfer, and they're going to be they'll come through Lofty, but it will be a call. So I would suggest answering your phone.
When does that go live?
It's live. It's just they haven't got.
I signed up for it too.
Yeah, they just haven't got the leads going yet.
Okay.
They're still working all the leads.
Okay.
They're just nurturing and going.
How do they filter the leads, like as they come in, to who?
By area, by MLS.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think they're going to limit it by, they're not going to have 1,000 agents in one area getting leads. So if you want to do it, I would do it sooner rather than later. And there's nobody else that's Axon in Central California, so we're probably okay.
Okay.
But, as it grows and adds, it's going to be something different. And why not? They're people you wouldn't have, and it's better than Op City, and they should be better leads, supposedly.
So will they send, like how Op City sends through the app and you claim it? Will it be something similar, or would they just call you?
They're calling.
From my understanding, they haven't fully, it's still development, but initially what the team's going to do is the ISA will call you. Once you claim it, they'll send it to you on Lofty, or you will be getting it on Lofty.
Okay.
Because they're also doing warm check-ins. So if you close it and you didn't pay it, the ISA knows. And basically, you just cut out the ISA, you're fired, you're still on the hook.
Right.
25%.
Right. And so I think, and the ISA is just going to go down the list of who's getting the leads. So if you don't answer your phone, it's going to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was that about Axon leads. There also was a program they're rolling out, and it has something to do with SBA loans, and it's getting a small referral fee if someone who is, and there's certain guidelines. I think it was like a 650 credit score. You have to be in business for 2 years. So this isn't really a startup thing, but maybe if you've been in business, maybe leasing a building and then you wanted to buy a building, and they're supposed to be, they say they can do an SBA loan in 21 days. And you'll get a 0.5 bonus for it. So it's not a real estate, it's more of a partnering or referral. It's not a real estate connection. It's not like a 3%. I guess if you were selling them a business, it would be. But then he said by the end of the year, they should have a program that is for people that are starting a business or acquiring an existing business. So another avenue to make money. But that was all discussed this morning in the huddle. The huddles are good. This one went on like an hour and 5 minutes, which is long. Normally you get everything you want to know in the first 30 minutes because Chase and Austin get online and they do their announcements right away. And then it's like more Q&A after that. So if you can log on for the first 30 minutes, there's usually some useful information that shows up. And then after that, it's Q&A. Okay. What else? Anything else you can think of, Jackie, that we need to talk about?
I had to I'm having to send out about 20 CDAs today. So make sure agents are sending in your CDAs, TCs, and keep your sky slopes complete. Like the sky slopes tells you what it is. As agents, if you're not paying your tech fee on your sky slope books, it is slowing me down that I am having, as I submit a CDA for review, they're having to kick it back to tell me to add a tech fee, so they have to go back and recreate the CDA to do the tech fee.
Well, the
So-
easiest thing is just pay it all up front.
Pay
your tech
dues,
fee up
pay your
front.
tech fee, and so that if not, it does come off of the CDA. So if you can, I'm trying to catch it ahead of time and ask my list of who owes first, so that we can minimize the
I
double
think the part of the problem is that SkySlope email comes across as spam. Because I've gotten it and I keep deleting it because I'm like, I'm not clicking on this.
Yeah.
Because we don't click on anything, right?
Yeah.
So I have no idea what it is. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to pay my tech fee up front. So it's done. But that is part of the problem. People don't know what it is. I know Bridget got it.
Mhm.
I've questioned it. I keep deleting it. I had no idea it had anything to do with accent.
So SkySlope is where Accent Books is going to be like all your financials. So it's still in development. They're still loading everything in there. They just changed the accounting team. So eventually, what's going to happen, realistically, I think by the end of next month, at the rate they're going, in SkySlope, you can see who's in your downline. You can see what you've been paid and what you've been paid on your commissions. There will be discrepancies because there is what you were paid under downtown versus what you were paid under Accent. So for those that came over from when we still had deals under downtown itself before we merged in with Accent. So anybody that goes Accent now, it'll be there. So like in the sense of you gals that came from another brokerage, you're going to have two 1099s. You're going to have from your previous brokerage and you're going to have from Accent. So Accent will only reflect the Accent closings.
Okay. I'm familiar with the SkySlope, what they set up with the tech fee, because that's how we did it there. So I do know to look for those, but I have to like reset up it's going to junk.
Yeah. And so it goes into your Accent email, and yes, the initial ones go to spam.
Okay. So
Quick question. So those leads that you were talking about, that's the FISBO ones?
no, accent leads. It's totally different.
Okay.
Fisbo.com is
Never
something
mind.
different.
Okay.
And you pay FISBO $2.99 a month,
It's
right?
$2.99 a month. That's listings.
Mhm.
But that's doing 150 flat fee. There's a whole training you need to go to for Fisbo.com. And what that is, that the idea behind Fisbo.com is if they want to do a Fisbo, you list it for them. It's 150 flat fee. But what you're really hoping is that when it doesn't sell, then you make them an offer and they list with you ultimately. So, and you're not, but you are it is data entry only. All it is. You are not their agent. You are not doing anything. And you're just, but if buyers come off of that, those can be your leads. There's a lot of ways you can make money off Fisbo.com, but you've really got to listen to the training.
So how do we sign up for the Accent one?
It's on Lightspeed. It just says Accent leads.
So when you go down to when you go to Accent Lightspeed, you log in with your
Are you on
username.
Lightspeed? Here, turn it around. I'll show you. You just go to
Training
It's in the
center.
main one, right?
Start
And then you go
training.
down.
And
Lightspeed. Oh,
And it's such a weird thing if you type in your bar.
it's under programs. Should be that one right there.
right there. Accent
I
leads.
thought
Right there.
Type in for you.
Yeah, so Lofty is different than Lightspeed. These are two separate things. SkySlope, Lofty, Lightspeed. But we are going to do it. So I've got trainings all set for July, and our tech training is Lofty. We're going to start working on Lofty again and learning how to put leads in because we keep getting new agents, and there's a lot to do on Lofty. So we're just going to take it one step at a time. Okay, so we are going to do our drawing. Now we've got it here. We've got it all set up. We don't need cards. So Gunnar,
Wait, what?
Got the wheel.
we've got the wheel. Gunnar has.
It's hacked.
It's got all 109 agents in there, and that way there's no funny business and Sarah picks fake cards.
And you made sure Sarah's in there, right?
Yep, everybody's in there.
Okay, so here we go.
This was created because of Chris winning last week?
Yeah,
Yeah, we thought Chris rigged it.
Yeah, I know, I was hoping, Javier can't draw there.
Is it going?
I
Yep.
know here.
I see
Yvette
Yvette
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Yvette Sanchez is our winner.
Is she here or is she not here?
She rarely can because usually she's in class.
No. Okay.
We hit not here. Top climbs up $20.
All right. Here. Thank you.
I don't want to win right now. I want to wait for it to build a little bit.
You're techie.
Oh, 5 minutes to make it in the eye.
Okay, so this morning we are going to talk about objection handling because we know that's a big part of the business, right? Is the objections. So we're going to talk about 6 objections, and then think about the ones. And I know we're not going to cover all of them, and however much time is left, think about what objections you guys hear in your day-to-day business, and then we'll try and brainstorm and come up with solutions or responses, right? Do I go down on this?
So these
there
are
we go.
listening objections, right? For listening?
For everything,
Alright.
everything.
Probably easier to use the arrows.
I can't see where is it? Oh, okay.
Very, very helpful. Somebody can sign up for that.
Okay, so why objections happen, right? We think that when we have an objection, that's the end of the road, but it's not. If they're objecting, they're still involved in the conversation. They haven't cut you out. If they're saying nothing, they're trying to process, right? They're trying to get to where the answers that they want. It's not a no, it's a request for more information, and that's the mindset you have to have. It's not a no. It's just a request for more info. If they don't want to work with you, they wouldn't be objecting. They wouldn't bother. They just shut you down. We did cold calling yesterday. We did the cold calling clinic, and I need to brag a little bit because I was going to do it and I forgot. We had, how many people did we have, Sharice? We had about 8. They sat for, it was only going to be for an hour. They sat around a table, talk about being vulnerable, right? They sat around the table and did them one at a time, and everybody listened and critiqued. But everybody was so like, they embraced, everybody cheered and gave positive feedback. And out of 20 calls, we made about 10 connections. And I think I've got to see the numbers, 4 to 6 appointments. Yep. So anybody who says that the leads don't work, they do. You've got to know what to say. We followed a script. We tried to stick to the script, but an hour-long cold calling session turned into 2.5 hours because they were so fired up. Nobody wanted to leave. So there were some objections that came out of that, right? But if they push back, it's okay. They're still in the conversation. Everybody's had it, right? When you get an objection, what do you want to do? Shut down sometimes, right? And say nothing, say no, walk away. We're probably not going to get rid of that uncomfortable feeling until you feel confident with what to say back. And it's script and it's role playing and it's going through these things and on a regular basis. So it's a mindset shift. LAER framework. So this is it. L, listen. Let the client finish completely. Do not interrupt. Don't start formulating your reply halfway through their sentence. So listen to what they're saying. A, acknowledge. Show you heard them before you pivot. Listen, acknowledge what they're saying. That makes total sense. Or a lot of my clients feel this way. E, explore. Ask a question. See if you can get to the real concern, because typically there's going to be a real concern. And R, then, only then, do you respond. So you got to be patient. Because what you want to do is go from L to R, right? It's normal. You want to go L, R. But you got to go listen, acknowledge, explore, respond. It's the biggest mistake. Don't go from L to R. Don't go right to your rebuttal. It feels efficient, but you're not digging enough. You got to ask more questions because we know, right? You've got to ask questions. When you're listing an appointment, you got to ask questions, ask questions. So when you hear the objections, if you ask enough questions, then you know how to respond. If you don't, you may not. You may come back with a response that is truly not even effective. Okay. Feel, felt, found. This is it's another tool in the respond part. I understand how you feel. Okay, so there's feel. Other clients have felt the same way. Here's what they found. You're not arguing with the client. You're just showing them a path someone else took. Instead of saying, no, that's not right, right? You're coming back with, well, I had a client, this is how they felt. So make sure you go from the LAER framework and then feel, felt, found. Acknowledge. Okay, so let's go on to the objections. I've got 6 of them. So as you guys think about them, once we get through these, if you have others, please, let's go over them. Objection number 1. I want to think about it. You've heard that, right? We've all had that one. So acknowledge would be something like, oh, that's totally fair. This is a big decision. What else could you say for acknowledge? What would you say, Chris?
Yeah, it's a big decision. I think you want to be sure before
Right.
you take this step. So
Right. And then explore. When you say you want to think about it, what specifically would you like more clarity on? Right. So then you're asking them, what do you want more clarification on? The price, the timing, is it something else? And then the response, let's talk through wherever that is right now. What's the biggest question on your mind? So then you're responding, you're honestly just responding to their questions. Does anybody else have a different response or a different objection handler to that one? I want to think about it. What do you have, Jared?
Depending on the context, listing or buyer, and I may learn something here today. Maybe I need to be a little bit more nicer, because I know, oh, I totally understand. My objective is, hey, there is a cost for waiting sometimes. You may get more competition when listing, and then if the stats are good, hey, it's a hot market right now, and that's the current right now. People
Right.
offers for listing. So if you decide to wait, the market could change, be a disadvantage for you.
So that would be your response if they said,
I want to think about it.
I want to think about it, the timing,
Yeah.
right? If they're talking
Yeah.
about timing.
Mm-hmm.
What about if it's a buyer?
If it's a buyer, I would tackle that objective to be like, hey, if you decide to wait, I totally understand. But what if you miss out on a house that's available on the market today, and the next 6 months, just nothing's like it out there, especially in Porterville. And I whip out the MLS thing. There's like 83 to 90 homes on inventory here. Visalia is different. Yeah, 300 something. So Porterville in particular, I would just say, what if we miss out on that really good house for you though? That's the only
Would you
thing.
regret it?
Yeah.
Would you regret it?
Yeah.
That's a response. So this kind of leads, I'm going down the squirrel hole here, but here we go. When a buyer says, oh, like say they get a counter offer and it's $5,000, right? Gunner had this for 10. We just had this discussion. 10,000. Buyer's like, oh, 10,000. We didn't want to go up that high. The difference in a payment, 10,000 for a buyer is
$70.
$70, right? But to a seller, that is $10,000 in their pocket. Gunner's buyers are asking for closing costs. That's cash they're going to use to fix up this house. Do you mind paying $10,000 more? It costs you $70 a month, but you have your cash to do your remodel. Seems like a win-win, right? And the question I told Gunner to ask is, well, if you don't do that, are you going to regret losing that house for $10,000 or for $70 a month? Are you going to regret it? Sometimes you have to go back to that pain point, right? Like, are you going to regret doing that?
One of the questions I ask is it worth missing out on this house for $5,000 or $10,000?
Yeah.
Like, sit and think about that for a
Put
minute.
it in perspective.
Mhm.
Because they get very caught up on price. Very caught up on price. Gunner's clients, when they went and looked at this house in a great area, but the house was full of cats. And he said there wasn't cat urine everywhere. It just was cats everywhere. It smelled like musty animals. And because the buyers saw that, they assumed the house was priced incorrectly. And it wasn't. Gunnar and I did a market analysis. If that house was cleaner, it would have been $10,000-$15,000 higher. But buyers in their mind, oh, well, it's I'm not paying that much for it. But do you really know the value? So Gunnar did a market analysis for him, showed him where it was supposed to be, and then move forward with that. So that was a good objection handler for Gunnar. Any other questions or comments about that one? I want to think about it. Anybody online have anything they want to say? Any ideas? No?
I think it's very smart to always bring it back to the monthly payment.
Monthly
So,
payment.
$10,000, somebody may be like, yeah, $10,000 is worth walking away, but $70 a month, oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably just pay $70 a month.
Don't you think, Chris, that a seller will walk away from 10 grand where a buyer maybe not, as long as they qualify, right? A buyer, it's $70. And I always tell that to my buyers when we're getting counter offers back. They're like, 5,000? Seriously? They're countering for 5? I'm like, well, that's 5,000 in their pocket and it's $35 to you.
Yeah.
So the perspective
Yeah.
between a buyer and seller. And also I think letting your clients walk in the other side's shoes, right? Getting the buyer to understand it from a seller perspective and a seller for a buyer's perspective. I think it's important to be able to do that.
I do also take into context, or I guess I would say into consideration the time of day and the heat, because at the end of the day, people are tired and not thinking straight, and so sometimes it's sleep on it and call me at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Give me a decision then, because you're fresh, you've thought about it, you're processing it differently.
Yep.
You may be hungry, you may be dealing with kids trying to feed and coordinate sports schedules or whatever, and their brain is scattered.
Yep.
So I do offer that to a lot of my clients.
I think that's
Depending
wise.
on context is,
End of the day, we're cranky.
yes, exactly.
Maybe not make big decisions at the end of the day when we're cranky.
Yeah. If I know my clients are certain ways, I'm like, call me in the morning.
Yeah. Unless they're not morning people. If they stay up till 1 o'clock, you might want to catch them in the
Yeah.
evening and don't call them first thing in the morning because maybe that's when they're cranky.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, objection number 2. Oh, this is a good one. Your commission is too high. So they acknowledge, I get that. Commission is real money and you should ask about it. Like, don't shame them into asking. It's okay. Explore. Can I ask what you're comparing it to? Another agent's rate or what you'd save doing it yourself? And then the response is, let's look at what that commission actually buys you. Pricing strategy, marketing reach, negotiation, and protecting you legally through the closing. My average client nets more at closing than they would cutting that corner. Want me to walk you through the math. And there are stats. When people do it for sale by owner, they typically make, because look, buyers know when they're going to a for sale by owner that there is no agent involved. So they offer less. They know the seller's not paying commission. Anybody else have any responses, any to that objection?
Nobody ever tells me that.
Chris doesn't get told that. Why don't they tell you that, Chris, when you're doing a
Because
listing?
he's worth every penny.
Well, if you show your worth in the beginning.
I think right out when it comes to that, most of the time I don't ever even talk about commission until
That should be the
we're
last.
signing.
Yep.
And then at the very end, I always tell them normal in this area is 2.5 or 3, so I'm gonna hook you up with the 2.5. If I bring the buyer, I'll drop it another 0.5%.
They're usually good.
Never had anybody bite back on that.
You know how when you buy a car and you go in and then they want you, what do they want you to do? Because you're looking at the car, right? And then they want you to drive the car. So you fall in love with it. I think the listing presentation is almost the same, right? They want you to fall in love with the process, with the marketing, with here's my listing presentation. And then they put you in that little room and make you do that weird that 4 thing where price, interest, all that. But I think it's the same thing with the listing. Like, don't even talk about your commission until the end, because that's not the thing you should lead with.
No.
And it's almost an assumption, right? Like, hey, this is what I do. There you go.
And if you, with today's tech, you go into a listing appointment and show off some of this tech, like every one of my listing appointments moving forward, I have that Kubi Casa. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
So literally, as I'm going through the house, I'm gonna scan it as I'm going through, and they're gonna ask me, "What are you doing?" or "What are you doing that for?" Oh, this is it. This is gonna give a 3D rendering, and it's gonna give me your floor plan for marketing stuff.
Right.
You do that, and it also goes onto the personal website that I'm building for you for free on Lofty.
What's that called, Chris? That app?
Kubi Casa.
And how much?
Cubicasa.
Cubicasa.
Yeah.
And it's an app. And how much does that cost?
It's $15 for a floor plan, and then you can pay like 60 something dollars. I just spent like 180 doing like everything that they offer, and it's not worth it.
Oh, okay. So it's per listing though.
It's per listing.
It's not a monthly fee. It's as you use it.
Correct.
That's kind of cool. So you can have
So
it.
the coolest thing on it was the floor plan, like it does the whole floor plan for you, and it was creepy accurate.
Yeah.
Freaky accurate. I was like, what the heck?
That
Is
is
it
good.
like a Matterport type of thing, or is it like a video?
You do it on your phone,
No,
right?
no, yeah, you do it on your phone,
You
and
just
it
scan it.
maps everything
Yeah.
as you're going, and so it just gets it, like, it puts the windows where they're supposed to be, double doors or regular doors, or like this house I did it on, there was like a 8-inch, like part of the house was like kind of went in 8 inches and then went the rest of the way. It caught that somehow. I don't even know how. So it was really impressive. And then you can spend like $60 and get a little bit more. I think you can get like the interactive tour, where basically it takes your whole house and then you upload the pictures, your own professional pictures that you already have, and then like people can look at the floor plan, and then you can click on the kitchen, and it will take you to your kitchen picture. So it's like an interactive kind of thing.
It's
You
cool.
do a couple of that. Tell them you're doing a whole. You create a whole web page specifically for their house, and you have a whole marketing.
They're
suite.
wowed
Like,
by
dude,
that.
They're gonna be wowed by all that stuff. And then at the end, you let them know you're giving them a little discount at TUNAP if you do that. I do that, but
Even if
whatever.
you don't,
Even
I
if you
mean,
don't,
if you go with the 3, just say it confidently.
Yeah.
Like, don't sheepishly tell them what your commission is, right? I mean, but you don't need to ram it down their throat either. You just, in the
I don't
same
even let them
tone.
respond.
Yeah, in the same tone, I'll just say, yeah, this is what I charge commission wise, blah, 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 blah. You know, they know. And on you go. Like, I don't even, like, is that okay? No, we don't say, is that okay? We just go
Is that
forward.
doable for you?
Yeah.
Or is that too much?
Yeah.
Is that too much?
The
commission?
RMLS also has Casa.
Oh, they do.
I've used it under that. Yes, I've never paid for it separately, but I've used it under CRMLS.
Oh, that's cool.
The
Oh, it's
one that I'm in.
included.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
I think on the commission one, if they say another agent is willing to do it for lower, that's a much easier one, because you can tell them, well, if they can't even negotiate their commission, how are they going to negotiate the best deal for you?
That's a great response.
Yeah, because they can't even
'Cause at the end
negotiate.
of the day, I mean, even if I showed you a better plan and you netted the same amount of money, you probably still wouldn't be interested just because the commission's higher, right?
Oh,
No.
yeah, if I can get $10,000 more for you and the difference in commission is 2, you know, whatever,
Tell them
3.
people that come in super low on their commissions are usually agents that are starving and don't do business, and
Right.
they're trying
It
to
should be a red
do
flag.
everything that they can. I'm comfortable. Is that person? You know, based on my stats, I'm probably going to sell it for higher than whatever
Yep.
the difference is between our commission is, anyways.
Yeah, perfect.
I ask them too with them, like, if they say that, what's the marketing plan they discuss with you?
Yeah.
I put them on the spot and I'll ask them, what are they going to do?
That's good.
That's a good
And
one.
a lot of times I don't know, actually. We didn't talk about that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, let's talk about what I can
Just
do
said
for
they're
you.
going to do it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what comes with that?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah, well,
cheaper means
you know, they take
there's
those,
things that come
they
with that.
take those really good pictures with their phone
Yeah.
and the toilet seat out. Yes.
They're in the photo of the bathroom.
There's some marketing going on there.
The sky.
I think those are all great because commission, we've all heard that one. Commission, 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 right? Okay, the next one. I think I'll just sell it myself. They want to do a FISBO, right? Acknowledge. A lot of sellers consider that. Saving the commission is appealing. Explore. What's drawing you to selling it yourself? Is it the cost Or do you feel like you already know how to manage the process? That's a good one. Like, okay, what do you know? Like, oh, and you have access to all your disclosures and you, right? You could ask them that. Here, and then the response is, here's what I've seen. Homes sold without an agent typically sell for less. They do. Takes longer. Even after accounting for commission, I'd rather show you the numbers for your specific home than ask you to take my word for it. Can I run a quick comparison? I think the other thing that for sell by owners forget about is we know good lenders, we know bad lenders. We know programs, what will work, what won't. They have no idea what they're doing for sell by owner. They truly don't. And there's nobody guiding that transaction. So they may think they're going to get more for it. They'll save some commission, but they lose out on, typically they just get less money. Plus you're exposing it to a smaller pool of buyers. The bigger the pool of buyers, the more chance you have, more offers, right? So smaller pool, less offers, less chance of a bidding more. What else?
And even if you're sell by owner, the chances are you're still going to pay a buyer's agent, or
Yeah.
you're not going to sell it at all. Nobody's going to. All buyers have a free agent.
Yep. And they're
Why would they go?
Yep.
Directly to you? I mean, it just doesn't even make sense.
And
That's-
the other thing too is when I represented buyers for sell by owner, and I just think I took them to the cleaners, the seller.
Yeah.
You know, I just ran circles on them, and buyers came out.
Yeah. That is
winning.
such a good point. What Jared just said. When he represents a buyer in a for sale by in a FSBO, he is totally representing the buyer. And the seller, it's good luck to you, right? Because there's nobody representing them. And Jared takes advantage of his knowledge and how things go.
And you tell that person considering doing the for sale by owner that you take the other people to the house, right? You tell them that?
The seller?
Yeah.
No, I represent the buyer side. Just
No, when you're at a listing appointment, they're telling you that they want to do.
I think I mentioned it once. Maybe I should mention it more. Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, I've had two advantageous big time deals where.
Yeah, I'm working hard for my buyer, as will that agent. You are unrepresented, Mr. Seller. Nobody's working for you.
And I don't know if this is. I mean, tell me your thoughts on this. I like to tell them, that for sell by owners, like, hey, look, I know you may be listing yourself, but I believe you're still held to a disclosure standard. So who's going to be covering your disclosures? Because you can get in a lot of legal trouble, and I'm an expert on that. So.
Yeah.
I bring up the liability of the disclosures and what they're opening themselves up to as well.
How about the safety issues if you have a family of letting anybody, whether you know they're qualified or not, to come walking through your house? I mean, if you have a family, do you really want to just let somebody come through? If they're not represented, are you going to let them walk through your house? I'd be hesitant to do that.
And when you know that they're thinking about doing that, hit them with information that's going to overwhelm them to make them feel like, oh fuck, I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
So I would tell them, okay, yeah, well, this is my fee. This is what I'll do if I represent you. This is what I would do if I represented you. These are the things that I would do, and then talking through all the marketing stuff that they're not going to have a freaking clue about, all the relationships and pushing it out to all the realtors, being able to vet those buyers when a buyer comes in. I'm not just showing you a net sheet because, if you get an offer from somebody, it could be no good. It could be good. It could drag out a month and a half and then cancel on you because the buyer wasn't. Well, a lot of things can happen. I'm gonna give you a profile on the buyer, the lender, the agent, along with the net sheet. So I'm showing you the risk and blah 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 blah. If you give them a whole bunch of information that that they don't know,
They feel overwhelmed.
like with the lender, I'm gonna vet the prequal. Is it an automated approval, or is it a DU approval, or is it manual underwrite? You start throwing terminology that they're not gonna know. They're gonna be like, oh fuck, this is not my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And this person knows what they're talking about.
Yep. Anybody else have any other objections for, I'm going to sell it myself? Okay. I'm already working with another agent. Oof. Good to know. Sounds like you already started the process. Explore. Are you under a signed agreement with them or just talking, right? I mean, that's the question. Have you signed? Have you not? If it's not a signed agreement, no problem at all. There's no obligation until you sign something. I'd love to send you a quick comparison of my approach so we have it when you're deciding. If they have signed, Totally respect that. When your agreement is up, I'd love the chance to talk. Mind if I check back in then? That's about it, as much as you can do, right? I mean, I'm already working with another agent. When we were doing cold calls yesterday, some of them said, I already bought a property. Well, and so the next on the script was, oh, really? Where did you buy? And then, if they were lying, right? Because dead silence, like crickets. They didn't know what to say. Some of them hung up.
Yeah.
Like hung up, like, oh, end of conversation, hang up. Some of them did like say, oh, we bought here, but it's amazing how many agents do not follow back up with leads and clients, and these clients become orphans because the conversation, a lot of it was, oh yeah, they were supposed to do something, but then I never heard from them again. Goodbye, you just lost that client. So even with saying, oh, you're worrisome with somebody, that's great. Do you mind if I follow back up? Put them in Lofty, assign yourself a task, call them, see what they've done.
I love that. I love the fact that nowhere in those responses does it make you ask who the agent is.
No, I was just
And
gonna.
I think when you ask who the agent is, it makes you like.
There's an objection handler that we have, and it says, "Oh, I'm already working with another agent." It goes, "Oh, yeah, that's great. I just don't really want to offend you. The other agent, it's not your mom, is it?" And then they go, "Well, no." And then they go, "Okay, well, I mean, well, you wouldn't be against maybe getting a second opinion, even checking it out and interviewing another agent."
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a pattern interrupt. You want to make no, it's not my mom.
Did you care? Are you gonna hurt their feelings?
Because then once you know it's someone you like, then it's like, oh shoot. Then you step yourself back, but at the same time, if that agent had already been doing their job, these people wouldn't have been taking your call to begin with, or calling you. So at times, like, that helps you keep from having that internal guilt.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest thing that I run into is a lot of buyers don't know if they've, or don't remember if they've signed something or not, and they have no idea what they've signed.
I know.
And so I was like, if you have anything, send it to me, let me look at it. The best way is to get eyes on it, because they don't know half the time, or they're like, oh, I signed something, but they thought it was just one property, but it's actually a representation contract for 2 months.
And the biggest problem with that representation contract is that nobody's policing it. It's like the Wild West with that. Buyers don't know what they signed. Nobody, they're not being enforced. I've never heard of one being enforced, ever. Nobody enforces, right? Because who's going to? Because if a buyer buys with another agent, it's not agent to agent, it's agent to client. You'd have to sue the client.
Yeah.
Nobody will do that. It's not agent to agent. Agents will go after each other all day long. They will. But agent to client, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that's bad news.
I've had a title company ask for a copy of it before, and then a TC did too.
And I don't know why they're asking for that.
When they first came out with it, I got the same thing. And what I was told from my old broker was they can get that. I think it was like the last page that says, because there was a summary on that page that had the names, the percent, and all of that, but they didn't need the rest of it. So we would only send that one page, but that only happened like once or twice. And then they changed it again.
Yeah. Stupidest form on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Seriously. Stupidest form ever.
Which form?
The BRB.
BRB.
People think they own their clients. That's the funniest thing.
Because what's my big thing I always say? We don't own our clients, we earn them. And I have never once had a buyer sign a buyer broker agreement ever in 26 years. Never. I felt like I do a good job for my clients and they use me because they want to. Never have I ever. I mean, now I know we have to, but before I never did. Only because I was forced to. I just felt like.
And what do people think that's going to do? Oh, you have a contract right here. You're going to pay me.
And
That's
like,
right?
Yeah, I'm not paying you, right? No, for sure. I want to wait for rates to come down. So this is a buyer objection. And you would say that's a really common instinct right now. Is the rate itself the main concern, or is it more about the monthly payment overall? That's a brilliant question to ask, right? Is it payment or is it rate? Is it ego or is it payment? Like, what is it? Do you want to brag to your friends? Well, if you want to wait and brag to your friends for 3%, you might as well wait until monkeys fly out of your butt because we ain't getting back to a 3% for a long time. I don't think, if you're not in my lifetime, maybe not in yours, I don't
If
know.
you buy it down cheap enough.
You can buy it down, right? Chris knows. Chris is the master at manipulating the mortgage to make it work for the buyers and what they need. You have to find out, are they cash sensitive or payment sensitive? What is the sensitivity for the payment for the client? So, you know, there are ways to get around that.
And then it's a temporary thing you can do.
Yes.
The buy down.
Yeah.
Just a temporary buy down.
Or when rates drop, refi, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. When rates drop, buyer demand jumps. More people get back into the market. Then you're going to pay more for the property and possibly appraisal gaps and multiple offers. So rate you can work with. If you buy down here, your rate's up here, you refi down here, that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
If your rate's here, but you buy up here, there's no changing what you paid at. What you paid is what you paid, right? Anything else? Any other responses for buyer concerns?
I have a couple lenders that I work with that will also do like scenarios, like if they buy now at this rate versus waiting and what that looks like. So
What it
they
costs.
get to see the numbers in front of them and go, oh my gosh, like, and I think 10 times out of 10, they end up buying now.
Well, when you really put it in perspective, when you rent, it's 100% interest.
Mm-hmm.
Bridget, what factor are they putting in there to increase, to make it look more beneficial, like the, just a home sales
Appreciation.
going up?
They use the appreciation
Yeah.
on it, and they'll usually do like a 1 year. Sometimes they can do like a 6 months. I don't know that and outside of that, I don't
details,
know. Yeah.
Yeah, remember Wes did that for us before, where if you remember when we did that training, Chris, like if you wait a year, this is what it costs you because you've lost all the appreciation and all the money you're putting into rent,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's gone.
Combined.
You might as well just flush that all down the toilet.
And I think the title app has a graphic to make that too, along with the rent versus buy.
Okay.
Magenta or?
Almost all of them have
Oh, do
them. Like Chicago has it. I'm pretty sure Stewart has it. So I'm pretty sure Magenta would have it too.
Yep.
I haven't seen it with Magenta, but
Oh, okay.
assuming knowing Chicago has it, they'll have it too.
They
If
have it.
know, they'll have it eventually.
Yeah. So that one is, I think, the easiest one to overcome because it's just facts and it's just numbers. And last but not least, I'm just looking right now. Okay, acknowledge it. That's completely fine. Looking is how this starts for almost everyone, right? Explore. What would you need to happen for just looking to turn into ready to make a move? And the response, let's set up a simple search so you can see what's out there with zero pressure. If something hits, you'll know, and I'll be ready when you are. I think that is so good, right? Because when they come to open houses, oh, we're just looking, we're not interested. Then why are they at an open house? Like, I don't go to a sporting goods. I don't go look at fishing poles if I'm not looking for a fishing pole, right? I don't just go into Big Five and look at fishing poles for the fun of it. That's the same thing with houses. I don't think people go and take their
Guys
time
do, though. I think we definitely go look at guns and fishing.
because you want to shoot them.
I look at them a lot.
Because you want to shoot
There's
them.
a want and need
Right.
to go do that.
Right. So when they say we're just looking at an open house, I would see if you can get them into a search, like kind of see in a perfect world, you know, no pressure. Let me just send you stuff so you can see what's on the market and you can follow along. When you're ready, you'll be real familiar with the market.
Yeah. One of the responses I usually use to that is like, okay, great. What's your perfect house? Like I get them in that imagination scenario of like, if you could describe what the perfect house would be like, what would that be? And then I use that to create the search. And then I'm like, and then I'll ask them like, well, do you know how much are you comfortable with paying?
Yeah.
Per month, to give me an idea of what that would look like. And then from there, I can set up search criteria to send them homes. Or I can say, okay, should we double check that with the lender? Like maybe just do a soft pull to start, just to get their foot in the door. The lender has their contact info and we get that ball rolling that way. And then a lot of times they end up pulling the trigger way faster than they thought they would.
I think so. Because I think the scariest part for people is the lending part.
Mhm.
They're scared of it. They're petrified that the lender's going to see something. It's going to be embarrassing, whatever. Lenders have seen everything. They don't care. They do not care. But I think how many times I've set people up on searches, oh, we're just kind of looking. And, you know, I keep texting them. And then all of a sudden they'll say, yeah, we want to see that one. And that's where it takes off from there.
I feel like most of the time, if they're a first-time home buyer, when they tell you that, it's because they think that they can't.
Yep.
And then if they're not, if they own a place already, then it's probably a little bit more legitimate. But you want to find out what their motivation is. They're trying to upsize, downsize. Once you can kind of key in on that, then you can kind of prod a little bit, get some more information to kind of paint the picture of what would get them to do something. Then you're good.
Yeah, for sure. So those were our 6. We just got to remember an objection isn't a no. Do the LAER and then go from there with it, right? Does anybody else have any objections they want to talk about that they need help with?
I have one. I have one. If you can hear me, I have one.
Yep, we can hear you.
I'm driving, but renters and some of these just generation, the newer generation, they don't want to own, but they ask a lot of questions. Why should I own? I don't have to worry about anything. My landlord pays for everything.
Well, that is true.
And the pride of ownership.
You're paying the landlord to take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the pride of ownership from the newer generation is different.
I think that's probably not this area. Probably maybe like LA
Yeah,
or
they just can't afford.
Where they can't
Yeah, the
afford a
bigger
lot.
cities maybe. Yeah.
bigger cities. I've never heard anybody say that around here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
I've
of them
had it.
Well, I've
I've
heard
had it.
older people. No, I have heard older people that just decide they want to rent after they've owned a home for a while. Like my one gal that sold her house on Cheryl, she was like, I just don't want the responsibility of a home anymore. She's 80 some years old. She already got her equity in her home. She sold it. She was a home owner, right? So there was,
What'd she do after?
well, she was going to rent, and then she decided she just moved in with her daughter. And she was comfortable with that. But she was going back and forth between renting and that. And only because she didn't want the maintenance of the house anymore.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful. I mean, not all landlords are going to take care of the house, right?
Well, and not only that, but if you're talking about that situation, reverse mortgage, baby.
Yeah.
You still have to maintain the house, though.
Yeah, but you have the money to do it.
Yeah,
If you
you
get
do.
money every single
You
month.
do.
it's not
That's a good
problem.
point. If you get an older person who maybe doesn't have the money anymore, like Chris said, do a reverse mortgage with them. It's perfect. And talking about reverse mortgages, if they are in too big of a house and they need to downsize, you can list their house, sell them the other house, and then you can do a reverse mortgage on that smaller house if they've got equity in it. So you make a listing, a sale, and they're getting a reverse mortgage.
Yeah.
I think too for the younger generation, if you're in front of them, looking at how they're dressed, observing what kind of car are they driving, different things like that, and tying that back into rent is 100%. Do you want to just open the trash can and drop your money in because that's what you're doing, or do you want to pay yourself back at some point because this is an investment in your future if you decide to have kids, grandkids, all of that. So tying it into like what they have and making it more of like a realistic thought of like, oh my gosh, I'm actively throwing money away that I'm never going to get back. I can't get that. And then maybe on top of that, calculating, okay, what's your monthly rent? Is it $1,500 a month? Okay, let's multiply that times 12. Let's do that by 3 years. This is how much you just threw away or that you're throwing away.
And this is the other thing that you can do too, is real estate's the only investment that I'm aware of that so if you put your money in the bank or a CD or a savings account that's going to get some 1 or 2% interest, right? It's only on what you put in there. But if you put $20,000 down payment on a $400,000 house, you're going to get your interest on that you're getting on that is your appreciation, right?
Yeah.
So your appreciation is not on the $20,000 that you just put down. It's on the total sum of $400,000.
Yeah,
so you're going to be making $20,000 in the bank. You're going to make maybe 1, 2, 3% in a CD or something like that on just that 20. Or if you can put it into a house, you're going to make whatever the appreciation is for that year, which is typically anywhere from 2 to 7%, or more or less per year on the 400 that you leveraged that 20,000 to buy.
and then each year that number increases, so then
Mhm.
the
It's
total
compounding.
increases. It's compound.
Right, and people think that if they, once they own a house, their money's tied up. It isn't.
It is.
I mean, you can do HELOCs. There's lots of things that you can
How
do.
many people do you know that you sold them a house and 5 years later they've got like $90,000 in equity
It's great.
all day?
Awesome.
Mhm.
Real, yeah. Any other objections that we can brainstorm, mastermind with?
Just a comment of the old famous Dave Ramsey that they don't make any more real estate.
That's right. That's right. Dave Ramsey.
Land is king.
I don't agree with him 100%, but
I don't either, but
there are some things.
Volcanoes do. They make
Bill, they do make more real estate.
So,
Well,
so
kinda.
we covered this book before. That's funny. So, do you remember when we covered this book, Chris? Exactly what to say. This is a good book.
I don't remember that one. Yep.
Remember, we went through and it talks about what to say to people for real estate agents. This is it's a great little book, and it's kind of objection handlers.
Let me
Here,
have
Chris
it.
wants to
Oh,
read it.
This is mine now.
Yeah, I gave it to Chris. Chris has a new book. He got a gift. So, yeah, I think we have some at the office too, and we may go over that. But any objections that you guys come up against on our Wednesday meetings, bring them up. Bring them up, because that is such good hands-on mastermind. You know, bring them up. Make a note. Put it in downtown in the know, or text it to me, and I'll be sure and bring them up at the training. When if you guys have any ideas for trainings, I'm open to that. I love the ideas. I've got July pretty much booked out. We're going to have a gal come and talk to us about mold and remediation.
Oh,
She's going to come and do all that speaking with us. So I've got July pretty much planned out, but if you have any ideas, I want to have the 1031 gal come back and talk about 1031 tax exchanges again, because that's something we all need to understand. You don't need to be an expert, but you need to have a general idea, because if you are handling a 1031, you got to know the rules and how to do it and the timeline. So that's important. Anything else? Jackie, anything? You got anything?
Not that I can think of.
No? Jackie?
One question of perspective. When I think we'd often agree that, realtor one gets a listing that lists way too high, and then they're dissatisfied, it expires, and realtor two comes in, it's already an uphill battle because thing's been on the market for a while, So if a for sale by owner puts her house on Zillow and realtor, it's never entered at MLS, and then 2 months later said, screw it, I'm gonna list with the realtor.
It can't get into realtor.com if it wasn't with the realtor.
Oh,
It can't get into Zillow if it's not with the realtor. So the only way they'll get onto that is through getting through an MLS by having been with an agent that did an entry only to MLS.
Is that the new thing?
That's the only
Zillow,
way.
you can't post business.
Zillow started getting rid of them. Like they're
There's
supposed
one
to
I'm
be
aware
not
of,
involved.
I just want to know.
And they probably are still, but they're supposed to be getting away from
Okay.
that. But realtor.com you can't get on there unless
Okay,
it's through an
okay, I
MLS.
haven't seen it on Zillow.
Yeah.
But okay.
Okay, so we talked about X and leads. Lightspeed. If you're not on Lightspeed, you need to get on Lightspeed. You're missing things. It's the hub. You got to get on there. And Lofty. So X and leads, Lofty. If you guys are not on Lofty, you need to get on Lofty. Lofty does so much, especially on your listing presentations, like Chris was talking about that. Chris and I sat down here and messed around with Lofty. There's so much you can do. These seller reports, it'll create videos for you. I mean, just instantly does things. When you do a seller report, it gives a report of all kinds of stuff to the seller.
Just don't. When you're on that little page, I was playing around with it.
Yeah.
And you know how it's got the little arrows that shows newly listed,
Yes.
just listed, in escrow.
Yeah.
I was accidentally clicking on those. Don't click on those because it goes into the seller report. So my seller's got the report and they're like, oh, it went pending and then sold and then back active all within like a minute. I was like,
oh, that was me.
I create a test link with my own personal email
Yeah, to
that
see
I
what you're
use
getting.
in there to play with stuff like that. But
Yes.
thank you
we
for
did
that.
that. We did that too, but we missed clicking that.
We missed clicking that. Yeah, we missed that. But if I was gonna tell anybody to do anything, it would be, I would sign up for accent leads, because if you wait too long, you're not gonna get any. You'll be at the end of the list, and I would also be on Lofty and figuring out how to use Lofty.
I did 20 CDAs within yesterday and the day before, and of those 20, I think I plugged in 15 leads. So that means the agents are not plugging in their leads. And if that transaction has 2 people on there, I only put 1 in. I didn't put both people. So you need to be putting in your leads in there. Like,
And if you don't want to put them in, get your TC to put them in.
Mhm.
I mean, give your TC some closing tasks that you want them to do, and that could be one of them. But you're going to be sad if you don't put them in and you don't stay in contact with them, and they're your buyer, and 3 years down the road, there's their house on the MLS, and you're not the listing agent, and you're going to be very sad because you just didn't even communicate with them. And Lofty, we pay for it. I mean, Lofty by itself would be about $500 a month for you to buy Lofty. We have a $50 tech fee. Believe me, we get
And
way more than $50.
I added my sellers onto my last listing, and you can go on there, and their scores are like in the 90s because they're constantly on it. It's great.
Yeah.
So it shows them. Just try to do everything, all the marketing stuff, as much as you can. Try to do it through Lofty because it will log it and send it to them. Versus some other stuff, like if you just go straight to Facebook, for example, and do a post, and you boost it and you do all that, it won't tell them. But if you can do all that exact same stuff through Lofty, and it puts it on the report, so they get it every day. Every
They
day
can
or
see it
3
says
days.
promotion.
Yes.
It
And
tells
then
them what's
every
happening. So it
time-
looks like you're
Cool. I didn't
working
know that.
for your
Yes.
clients.
And then when somebody registers, clicks, not only does it go into your Lofty, but it also goes onto the home report saying interested party submitted information for your house type,
Yeah.
on your
Yeah, it's
advertisement.
brilliant,
That's
really.
cool.
It is. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and I hope you got something out of that, and come up with your objections.
Thank
Yeah.
I don't know how to turn it off, Jen.
Got it.
It's been like a month now.
Yeah, well, we were on.
You gotta watch your
before.
fingers.
Should have been.